Hi guys, welcome back to my XPS guide. Now I'm gonna review Sora from Kingdom Hearts 3, so let's start from his stats. I must say his stats is kinda ordinary, okay, nothing special I must say on his stats boost. But yes, he is flexible, he can become true double hand or true dual wield, but I suggest you to make him into true dual wield because like you can see that it is probably easier to reach maximum true dual wield stats than true double hand stats. Okay, and the things which make difference between normal and brave shift forms are the killer and physical evasion. On normal form he is strong against fairy, but on brave shift he is strong against human. And the normal form has better physical evasion, 50% versus 30%. So if you want to gear him into 100% physical evasion character, it is much easier to done on the normal form. So yes, that's it for these stats, nothing special. So now let's take a look on his normal form. On normal ability, he is an absolute mirror of equity chainer, and I must say, yes, he able to deal non-elemental damage, which is a good thing if you make him into true dual wield, because that allow you to change him into other element, because he only able to imbue light element. But I can say that his strongest attack comes from light elemental. Okay, it is locked to light element. It deals between 71 to 85 times damage, but for non-elemental mirror of equity, it only deals 65 to 72 times. Okay, so yes, maybe it is not that huge difference, but I simply want to point this to you. And he also able to imperil light element between 100 to 120%, the usual number you get from imperil, so nothing special here. He able to break defense and spirit, but it is only 65%, so it's below the standard for today. And yes, he able to give himself 3 physical evasion for 3 turns, and he recast it every turns for 3 turns. Okay, so maybe this is good if you cannot afford 100% physical evasion equipment, but I don't think it is that useful. Okay, and his grandest ability, 81 times like physical damage, mirror of equity chaining, and yes, I must say it is nothing special. Okay, so yes, it gives you imperil, defense spirit break, but yeah, I don't think this is any good. And for his limit burst on normal form, I must say it is descend 100 times damage. He has 50% limit burst damage, and you can take advantage from 250% limit burst damage buff on his brave shift form. But yes, I think if you want to use limit burst for damage, it's better to use his brave shift limit burst. Okay, so the main reason to use this to increase your damage modifier for your mirror of equity chainer. Okay, and yes, that's all for normal form. I must say nothing special, right? So for brave shift form, it is about the same like the normal form, but again, the reason you go into brave shift form is to use his limit burst, because you cannot stay forever on this form. Then make sure you use the 250% limit burst buff on the first turn on brave shift form, and then on the next turn use your limit burst. Knowing this, make sure you have about full LB before entering brave shift form, because really only lasts for 2 turns. You want to unleash your limit burst on the second turn you turn into brave shift. But let's say the enemy resists against light element, then you want to use his normal form limit burst. Then in that case, use your 250% limit burst damage buff on the second turn of this brave shift form. That means your buff still on Sora when he referred back into normal form on the next turn. Okay, and this limit burst, like you can see, it deals 150 times damage. So yes, it is decent. And yes, you have 250% limit burst damage buff and 50% from your passive. So this gets 300% limit burst damage boost minimum. So yes, on minimum it deals 600 times damage. So yes, this one is good. So if you able to reach, let's say, 300% limit burst damage boost from your passive, that means you can deal 975 times like damage. That's pretty insane, right? But let me tell you something, okay? I don't want to badmouth Sora, but I simply put a fact here. So sure, 975 times is amazing, but if you remember Tifa limit burst on Brave Shift form has 160 times base damage. So if you're able to make your Tifa reach same limit burst damage boost stats, then Tifa is still better limit burst finisher. But again, I know Tifa 250% limit burst damage buff only usable for 2 times. So Sora, you can use it as many times as you like. Okay, so that's one of the thing I don't like about Tifa. But again, this limit burst has a problem. The problem is it is 24 hits attack, and some say it is chainable with Mirror of Equity. But I have tried this and I failed. Okay, so I'm not sure, maybe I'm just too noob, but again, I leave that to you. But let's say you cannot chain it with Mirror of Equity, then this LB is still quite decent because the highest damage is on the last hit. Okay, so it's backloaded, but still that means Tifa limit burst is easier to land. Okay, so I'm simply talking about damage modifier. Okay, I know that Sora has better stats, etc. So yes, maybe Sora is better than Tifa, but again, what I want to say right here is, after reviewing him, let me be honest for you, okay? I'm not impressed on his abilities. Okay? Good? Yes, very good. Impressed? No. So that's all for the Brave Shift form. Now let's talk about equipment and partner. So for equipment, like I said, he is LB Chainer on Brave Shift form. So make sure you gear him with limited burst damage boost on Brave Shift form. But again, if you really want to use his normal form as LB Chainer too, then you can do that. But make sure you use that 250% limit burst damage buff on the second turn of your Brave Shift form. In that case, your normal form can still deal decent damage, but I can say the damage difference is quite huge. On the normal form, it only deals 100 times. On the Brave Shift form, 150 times. So if you multiply it, there will be quite huge margin between normal form, limit burst, and Brave Shift form limit burst. I leave that to you, okay? And you can see some of limit burst damage equipment to maximize your Sora. And his partner, I can say that he is really good when you partner him with Absolute Mirror of Equity Chainer, because yes, he has non-elemental Mirror of Equity chaining ability, I mean. So yes, you don't need to worry about element that much. Simply change his second weapon or let someone imbue him. But again, if you really want to maximize his limit burst damage, I think the best is the copy. Okay, so I will leave that to you in terms of Mirror of Equity chaining with his limit burst, but I have tried it. I cannot do that. Maybe it's possible, but it requires timing, not simply tap like you chain with other families. Okay, so enough about equipment and partner. My conclusion for Sora. Again, some of you gonna hate me, but let me clear it for you, okay? I don't say Sora bad unit. Okay? Sora is perfectly good. But let me tell you, I am not impressed. Okay? Sure, you may counter-argue me, but oh, Sora able to one turn KO the bosses, this boss. Yes, you can do that maybe with Sora, but again, he is DPS, and like I have talked before, I have talked about Tifa limit burst damage with Sora, and the damage modifier are not that different. Okay, sure, Sora better stats can deal better damage, but my point here is maybe the damage jump is not that big. So yes, unless you really love Sora, then maybe it's better to save for next better jump. That's what I want to say. But again, I cannot deny it. Sora STMR is insane, and I think this is the biggest reason that why I want Sora. His STMR is insanely good. 80% attack, so it is clear 80% are top tier. Okay, and 75% limit burst damage. Let me tell you that in the future, Gumi use limit burst characters. Okay, so from now on, many characters' strongest attack comes from limit burst. So this 75% is the highest on this game. That means this STMR has really good value. So Sora itself, maybe he is prone to power creep because he is DPS, but his STMR, whoa, this, I can say that this gonna be useful even until next year. Okay, because I believe, like I said, Gumi gonna push limit burst damage dealer from now on. Okay, so yes, pull Sora, but for STMR, not for the character itself. Okay, and for the Trust Mastery Award, I must say it is good for Sora, but because it is only usable for him, so I don't see any reason to chase it. And yes, what I don't like about him is his Breath Shift for limit burst. It is locked to light element. So if you fight enemy who resists against light, good luck to you. You cannot use that limit burst. Another reason why I hate the character, not because bad, okay, I'm really tired of making review like this, but yeah, if you want to critique my review, please critique it with better thought, okay, not simply, what, he says Sora is bad. No, Sora is not bad. Okay, so that's for Sora. But what about Vision Card? I must say his Vision Card, again, it is not that good. Again, maybe you argue with me, what, this Vision Card is so good. But let me explain it to you. First, the attack boost is kind of low, only 30%. If you remember that, like Cloud Remake, his Vision Card gives you 50% attack per ability, okay? So you can get about 100% attack boost when you... But yes, I know, you need to equip Great Sword. But this time, you don't need to equip weapon. So you get smaller attack boost. I don't think that's a good reason for equipping this Vision Card. And again, remember, the last ability of this Vision Card, it only affects Kingdom Heart characters. There are only 3 Kingdom Heart characters. So, yeah, I don't think it is that good, okay? So, yes, Sora is STMR character. His STMR is insanely good, but the character itself, he is also good, but if he is released with, let's say, bad STMR, I wouldn't chase him, okay, because he's basically another DPS with only one element. Okay, so yep, I think that's all you need to know about Sora. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy Prep XPS guide. And make sure you obtain that STMR because wow, it is pretty good. Bye bye guys.